Good afternoon, guys. It's afternoon my time, but hey, welcome back to the next episode of the Own Your Life podcast. My name is Mike. I'm here by myself today. If you're watching visually, you can see it's just me. But hey, I had something that was kind of really been on my mind the last couple of days. And actually, last week I was out of town in Phoenix. I was at an event for gym owners. And I actually had the opportunity to speak there to other gym owners. And what I wanted to do was I wanted to bring that message to you guys, those listening, but show you how to apply a similar message or apply the same message into different areas of life, different walks of life. My audience last week was other gym owners in a mentorship and a mastermind group that I'm a part of. I got to talk about something that we do at the gym or something that we do well in hopes of inspiring them and giving them some tools and tips or even just changing their mind and think about it differently. I gave that to them last week, but again, I want to pass that on and show you how that works in different areas of your life. So on the shorter side today for sure, but I just felt like this was a really important message that, again, has been weighing on me recently. And so I wanted to just reword it and get it out to you guys in a format that makes sense into other areas of your life because principles are principles. That's the thing. Like, yes, I talk in terms of fitness a lot. I talk in terms of owning a business or CrossFit or health, etc. But really, principles are principles. And so if these principles will apply to other areas of your life, you just got to find the right analogy. You got to find the right angle or realize how it does apply. So that's what I'm here to do today. So specifically, my topic when I was speaking was called Building the A Team. The 2010 version of the movie, because that's what I saw. I saw that movie when I was in college. It was the first movie I saw. We had a dollar theater, which was 75 cents on Thursday nights. So that was the thing to do in college. Reminds me of another random off-topic thing, but I was talking to my wife yesterday. She said, look at all the stuff I got at the Dollar Tree, at the dollar store. She goes, well, they weren't $1, but I got them all. And it just kind of reminded me of the simpler times when everything at the dollar store was $1. So end rant there. So what I talked about was building the A team. And my basic construct of my talk was not the nuts and bolts of how to hire somebody or how to find talent, how to train a coach. I talked a little bit about some of that, but the main overarching theme that I really, really talked about was you as a person, the person that owns the business, and how I heard this is one of my favorite sayings that I think about all the time. Your business doesn't have problems. It has your personal problems manifesting themselves in your business. And so that's the thought here. And so that's what I wanted to bring to you guys. So again, I'm going to use the analogy of business and I'm going to show you different categories, but you can apply this to any area of your life. So if you have a problem with, let's say, being on time, being consistent, right? If you owned a business, that would be an issue. But that's also an issue if you're a father, right? Going to pick up your kids at school, right? If you're inconsistent or you're not consistently on time, you can't be counted on in terms of your schedule, right? Then, I mean, it's all happened to us before, right? Our parents just forgot us or something happened and we had to go sit in the principal's office for, 30 minutes until our parents got there. Okay. Right. So like now stuff happens, but if that's a consistent thing on a consistent basis, like the problem isn't traffic. The problem is you're the one, and we talk about ownership all the time, but you're the one that makes the decision. You're the one that's inconsistent. You're the one that's late. Okay. Obviously, again, it happens once, but like it happens twice. Come on, man. Like we got to figure this out. So that was the general thought that I had was your personal problems manifesting themselves in your business or showing up in your business. And so you may think you actually have it all together, but you go look at your business and again, my business is a gym. If I have members working out with a really bad attitude as a whole, like the average culture of the gym is, wow, this workout is terrible. I hate it. It's so hot. Is the complaining culture. I've got to rewind and start thinking like, hey, is that how my staff talks? Are they getting that from my staff? This is the established culture. And if so, then I back up another step in me. Like, is that how I talk? Is that how I train staff? Is that how I talk in meetings? Is that who I am as a person? Is that the type of person that I attract? right, to an organization to work or to work out. And so if you see the output, if you see issues in the output, then you got to go look at the input, right? Basic input equals output. Here's a great example that you're going to love. How many times have you heard your child, son or daughter, say or do something, and you're like, wow, they're just like me? Or let me back up even before that. If you watch your son or daughter do something, right, what are the chances are that they learned it from you? Obviously, they see other people in the world, and they go to school or daycare, or they go to church, or they have friends that come over, or grandparents, etc. But if you are the person that has the most control over growing, teaching, learning, and just showing your child the way in life and how just life works and all that, and they're not learning something, that eventually it does fall back on you. So I would take us away from the thought that, oh, I just have a stubborn child, or I have the problem child, or I have the picky eater, or I have the blah, blah, blah. And I mean, children are just the output, right? They're reacting to their environment. They, especially at a very young age, they don't have very much input to go based off. They don't have much experience. They really only have what you've given them or other people have given them. So if you're looking at your kids and being like, wow, my kid is so stubborn, it kind of makes me wonder if we back up to the input, which is you teaching or grandparents or school or whatever, what is getting, given to that and taught to that child. Okay. And that's a hard one to grapple with. I mean, I don't say that lightly. That's a very hard one to watch. We've all done it. Your kid turns and looks at you for the first time and just gives you that face. And you're like, huh, I make that face. Right. And they learned it from you. And right now it feels like this bad thing that I'm talking about, like this negative thing, but it's not. It's actually a positive thing, because if that's the case, then that means I can also show them a smiling face, and they're going to learn that over time too. I can speak positively into my children's life, and then they'll speak positively into others. I can show them how to succeed. I can show them that failure isn't bad. It's just a step in the process. It's just, oh, I just learned how not to do something, right? You still learned something. You just learned how not to do it. So let me try another version, right? Failure isn't bad. It means you actually gave it an attempt. A lot of people don't even try at all. Different rant, different day. But that's the cool part, is when you see that negative stuff come up out of your kids, like, it also gives you the opportunity to give them the positive. It shows that your influence actually works. So a little bit more practical. I'm already going to transition through this. I think that's an easy analogy, whether you're a teacher, whether you're a CrossFit coach, a middle school football coach, whether you're a mom, a dad, a brother, a sister, you're a business owner, you're a manager, you're a small group leader at your church or community, you're on the board of the neighborhood watch, team, whatever those leadership positions or stuff where you have influence over people, this applies to all of it. So I think you guys can make that jump. So I'm already going to start to bring it home just a little bit. But your personal values, so I talked about your personal problems become your business problems or your family problems. But your personal values also manifest and become your business values. Okay? So you can have a business with the best set of core values that sound really cool, but if you have a bad leader, a bad CEO all the way at the top whose influence trickles all the way down, no matter how good of managers you have. But if you have a CEO that's off the rails that doesn't line up with the core values, then it's just not going to work. His influence is going to slowly work its way and trickle down the ladder all the way down to every employee, regardless of their position. And so that's my challenge to you is, again, whether you are a middle school football coach, you're a teacher, a mom, in charge of a small group at a church or your community, a husband, like whatever that is, your personal values get passed on. So who you are as a person is going to be way more important than any tip, trick, hack, nugget of information It's going to be way more than any fancy diet plan or workout plan or medicine or all of that, right? Your personal value is going to be more important than that. I mean, throw back to, I think, our first episode when we talked about Dilt's pyramid, the levels of change. But all the way at the top is your identity, and then above that is your values, or sorry, right below that is your beliefs and values. And so that forms your identity. And so again, this is my challenge to you, is one, to recognize what I'm saying is true, but also to now do something about it. Because I don't like to just say stuff high level. I like to challenge you high level, but I want to give you practical things that you can do as well. If you want to go back and listen to, we have some episodes in the teens or the pre-teens, I want to say like 11, 12, 13, somewhere in that range, where we went over our gym's core values: effort, excellence, and empathy. And again, those come from Jonathan and myself talking, all the time to each other. We talked it out. It's an iteration from the last time because, how we see things differently and has changed. But you can go back and listen to those. But what I want you to think about is, what are your core values? And even before your core values, what's your personal vision? What's your personal mission statement? Why are we here? This is the purpose of life question. Why were you put on this earth? Okay. And you may not know. I know that's a really big question. It's going to take some thinking, but yes, of course, this takes effort. It's not going to happen overnight. But what is your personal mission? I know, at this point, mine goes almost hand in hand with how the gym works, but we talk about to give people or develop ownership in somebody else's life. So we want to be able to give other people the ability to take ownership of their lives. OYL, own your life. And the step back of that, of what I like to, or how I like to define it is, I want, this is how I view it. My personal mission statement, or my goal, is I want to show others that they have a choice, that they make a choice. All right. It's not a choice who you vote. Okay, it is a choice who you vote, but I just mean it's not as surface level as choose who you vote, red or blue, right? It's I choose what I put in my mouth when I'm sitting at the kitchen table. Yes, my spouse might have made the meal and put it in front of me, but ultimately I choose if I'm going to lift that fork to my mouth or not. Or I choose that I don't lift the fork to my mouth and I'm not eating and I'm under eating. I choose what drink I put to my lips, right? I choose what time I go to bed. I choose all of these different things. Of course, there's circumstances that play with it, but I also choose how I react. So if there's a thunderstorm in the middle of the night that wakes me up, I choose how I react to that situation. I can get mad and storm off and then just get all hyped up and then it's hard to calm down. Or I could just use it as a time to just listen to the rain and be calm about it. I could choose to sleep in a little bit more. I could choose to go to bed early the next night to make up some of that sleep. Or I could choose to get on my phone and just scroll. And then now I'm messing with my circadian rhythm because of my eyes are seeing light, right? You have a choice in how to react in all of this. And so back to our bigger picture, I love this quote, but the how you do one thing is how you do everything. The standard is the standard. Who you are as a person is going to show up in other areas. So again, whether it shows up in your kids, your students, your athletes, subordinates at work, shows up in your family, even in your spouse. I'm not saying you can control your spouse, but I guarantee you, if you lived as a better person, that would just slowly rub off on your spouse, right? And so that's my final challenge to you, is that it starts with you. Only you can take control of your life. Only you can take ownership of your life. Only you can make those choices. So if you're seeing circumstances around you, especially people around you, and things that is not going well, right? I want you to take ownership of it and say, how can I react? How can I respond? And what choice can I make to either change the situation or to advance myself further, right? Okay, so that's the final thing. It starts with you. If you've never made a personal mission statement, if you've never made personal core values, I highly encourage you to do so. Sit down with your spouse, talk about it. Have this talk over your next date night. Make sure you got another one scheduled too, because you don't want to do this every date night. But talk with your spouse about this, right? Have it, if your kids are, depending on the age of your kids, have it be a family conversation. What do we value as a family? Like, what makes our family go? What fills us up? What makes us tick? Is it hospitality? Is it hosting others? Is it helping others? Is it giving? Is it sports? Like what's the thing that makes my family go? Like what? Yeah, I'm saying it over and over again. But what is my personal, or what is my family mission statement? What is my family mantra? Okay, I'm gonna leave you with that. It starts with you in terms of taking ownership of your life. Flip it around. If you want to take ownership of your life, then it's up to you. Have a good one, guys. Thanks for listening in. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. I can't wait to see you next time. Bye.